everybody, it's Kelsey. I'm going to do a really quick makeup look today using the NYX Butt Naked Underneath It All palette. It's going to be a sort of rosy smoky eye. So if you are awful at makeup, like me, then hopefully this tutorial will be really straightforward and simple. And if you have any questions about anything that I've used or that I've done, be sure and leave a question down below and I'll get back to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look. Thanks for watching and let's get started. So for my foundation today, I'm going to use this Found Sealer by Tarte. It contains their famous maracuja oil. So I love this foundation because it's got really nice coverage and it also contains those good for your skin ingredients. I love Tarte. They used to make a really great foundation called the Maracuja Miracle and it was just amazing for us dry skin girls, but they discontinued it. Anyway, I'm just going to dot this all over my face and I'm going to use a Real Techniques brush to blend this all out before I go in with my concealers of choice. I'm using two concealers today. I'm starting with the Age Rewind Eraser by Maybelline, and this is the brightening shade. It's vaguely pink, and I'm going to just put that under my eyes and down the center of my face. And then I'll also use the Benefit Erase Paste today just to cover some of the redness that I have around my nose and on my chin where I have blemishes. And again, I'm using it's a shadow brush actually by Real Techniques that I love to use to blend out my concealer. To set this today, I'll use my NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat. I've already hit pan on this bad boy and I have a backup as well. It's a great powder because again, it is matte, but it isn't totally flat. It doesn't take all the life out of your face. And I'm using this e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder with another really great e.l.f. brush to just really get the under eye area and the under eye concealers to stay in place all day. For my brows, there's really just one answer. It's the Anastasia Brow Wiz. It's a classic. There's a reason that it's so popular. It's a great product. It's got this little pencil on one end that I use to shape and fill in my brows, and then the other side is a spoolie that you use to brush it out. When I do my brows, I actually do fill in quite a bit in the center especially. It's very sparse there, but the spoolie is the thing that makes it magic because once you use the spoolie, then all the harshness of the pencil, all the harshness of the color just softens right up and it looks so natural and it really doesn't look like you've got anything fake going on, which I really love. The star of the show today is this NYX Butt Naked Underneath It All palette. Unfortunately, I broke mine. I dropped it on the bathroom floor and the lid snapped off. But anyway, I'm going to use this neutral color and it's sort of light and I'm going to get that all over my lids as a little bit of a base. It's a great place to start, just having a nice neutral base. And then I'm going to go into this great sort of bricky orange terracotta almost color. And this is where I'm going to start building up the smoke of this look, the sort of rosy haze of this look. I'm going to get this orange color working in the crease. I find that the key to doing pretty much any of these more detailed shadow looks that you see people doing on YouTube or wherever is to be patient. Don't pack your brushes full of shadow, just dip them in a little bit, flick them off, make sure that there's not too much buildup, and work slowly to add this color to your lid in the places where you actually want it added. And then also to be willing to take a separate brush to blend it out. Don't get scared halfway through when things look crazy. Just get a nice fluffy brush. This one is by Lorac, but use whichever brush you've got to sort of blend away some of the harshness. So I'm using again this middle neutral tone here and I'm going to just sort of soften some of this orange because I want an orangey halo-y glow around my eye, but it's difficult to get that going the right way, the right time, the first time. So don't be afraid to go in with another brush and soften things out. So I'm just going to go back and forth. I'm going to go with my little bricky orange color and I'm going to continue to add that into the crease. And I'm staying mostly on the outside of my crease, but I'm just adding that color in and then building that up and blending out with my other brush when I need to keep things looking even. To deepen this look and add some more interest, I'm going in with this burgundy color and I'm going to actually place this on the lid the outer third, outer half or so of the lid, just to add a little bit more depth. I'm actually going to bring this in once my brush is mostly clean, just to smooth it into the center of my lid a little bit more after I've concentrated on the outside. So the top of my lid now is going to be sort of all various shades of these rosy colors, and then I can go in and continue to blend the two together. Gonna do the same thing on the other side, building up the orange first at the crease and on the outside, and then adding the deeper burgundy color to the exterior side of the lid, and then slowly building that in closer to the center. For a little levity in the corners, I'm using a tiny little brush and this light shade at the bottom, and I'm gonna just pick a little bit of that up and put it under my brow bone, and then also put it on the interior corner of my eyes. So again, one of the ways that I save time is to use a small number of brushes. This little tiny brush has just used a really light shade, and now I'm going to use it to actually do my lower lash line liner. I'm going to start with this terracotta color, and that's the lighter of the two shades. So that shade is going to go on the inside part of my under eye, right at my lash line. Once I've got that going on the inside, I'm going to go to that burgundy color, and that's the one that I'm going to put at the outside part of my lower lash line. I'm going to build that up sort of like a lower lash liner and make the eye look a little bit more smoky. And once the under eyes are nice and smoked out, then I'm going to continue using this little tiny brush that I've got to take those deep colors right at my upper lash line. So I'm going to work this in almost the same way that I would place an eyeliner on my top lid. So I'm just going to put that right at the lash line just to add a little bit of depth right near my lashes. The cheek products are underneath the eyeshadows in this palette, and I'm going to use this deepest cheek color and my Real Techniques brush to put a little bit of this darkest color at the back of my cheeks. I'm not using this on the apples, I'm just using it to add a little depth closer to the hairline. It's sort of like a cheat if you don't actually have time to contour. Then I'm going to use one of the lighter cheek colors just to add a bit more color on my cheeks. I'm actually going to end up topping this off with something else at the end, but I want a little bit more warmth that's neutral and not rosy near the apples, so I'm just going to brush that on. I'm going to add just a touch of black eyeliner just to the very, very outside of my lashes. I want just a bit more depth right at the outside to add some fullness once I get my mascara on. For the mascara today, I'm going to use Flawless Definition by Bare Minerals. I really like this brush specifically, and I like the formula as well. The brush is sparse enough that I find it's not too clumpy, and I also like it because I think that it's thin enough to actually be defining and lengthening, which is really nice for my lashes. I have long lashes, but they don't always do what I want them to do, so this adds quite a bit of control, which I like a lot. This look today really is about marrying the sort of orangey terracotta tones with this sort of more burgundy tones. So I decided that I'm going to add a little bit of Bare Minerals warmth just to the apples of my cheeks because they're looking a little bit more orangey than I like. So again, I'm just going to use my favorite Real Techniques blush brush and just get that right on the apples and warm up my face just a little bit more. Almost done. I'm going to use that great little e.l.f. brush and this highlight from the palette. It's the rosiest highlight, and I'm just going to brush that across the tops of my cheeks to add just a kiss of shine. And I'm going to go with a nude lip today. This is an awesome Bite Beauty lip cream. I think that Bite Beauty products, those lip products, are just among the very best lip products I've ever used in my whole life. This nude color is nude but not lifeless, which I really, really, really like. I don't want my nude lipstick to make me look like a corpse. And this one is just perfect. So that's that. I'm going to go stand in the window so you can see it in some natural light. There we are. So this is the finished look. I can't say enough amazing things about this NYX palette. I have plenty of other palettes that have a lot of hype, and I have not reached for a single one of them since I got this this palette by NYX. It's got some amazing warm tones that I'm absolutely crazy about, obviously, but it also has a few cool tones that are just really awesome. There's this really great green, it's sort of a tealy green here, and there's a sort of steely, almost plum kind of color. Several neutrals, this really dynamite, like really shiny silver, and gold. There's silver and gold in this palette, and I just think it's like amazing that it's so cheap and that it has so much stuff in it, and the blushes and highlights are also really great. I don't really get a ton of use out of the lightest highlight because it reads really white to me, and I like rosier highlights or with a little bit more of a brown undertone than just sort of the pearly white ones. But the blushes also are great, and there's some real unique shades in here. This one is the deepest color, but it's very bricky, and I really like that. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. Please don't be afraid to try new things. I like trying new things with makeup, but I'm certainly not great at everything, and some of it just takes a little bit of practice. If there's ever a makeup look that you want to try, but you're not really sure how to approach, please let me know. I love doing these If You Suck at Makeup tutorials, and I hope that they're helpful. If you ever have a suggestion, I'm always open to those. Just leave it in a comment, or hit me up on Instagram or Twitter or wherever. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.